How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back with some Kuhnhenns up in this piece. Yeah, look at that Kuhnhenns. Yeah, a little bit of 4D, but this is a special edition, courtesy of my boy Rick. This is the Madagascar Vanilla Bean Crafters Collaboration. Look at that, Crafters Collaboration, Madagascar Vanilla Bean. In all seriousness, Kuhnhenn is one of my favorite breweries on the planet. This is one of my favorite beers that they produce. And it's going to be kind of cool to see this beer, this rich kind of old ale / barley wine with that nice kind of vanilla bean addition going on. So it's 13.5%. On the back here it says this old ale is made with Madagascar vanilla beans aged in 3 distinctly different barrels. This ale has an intense sweet caramel malt flavor with hints of vanilla in the finish. Did they give a date on this? I don't know if they give a date on this. Typically there's dates on these suckers. I'm sure based off of the variant and whatnot, being in collaboration with Azam Zaytouna of Napa Valley Beverage. We're just going to dive into it, man. Yeah, Rick sent a couple beers off. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the one that's really... That's kind of a decent hiss for a Kuhnhenn beer. Yeah, that was a nice little hiss, so we'll see what's going on. I broke out my long stem tulip here in honor of my boy Ewert. It's actually his glass, technically. It'll get in his hands someday, but until it gets actually in his hands, I will keep using it. So there you go, Ewert. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, 40. This old ale is one of my favorite ones. I have one floating around up there, bottle-wise. And this is probably one of the prettiest ones I've poured. You know, again, time withstanding, because it says a triple barrel age blend 4D, 4th D. I don't know the time on this, but, you know, Kuhnhenn is kind of like Hair to Dog. Sometimes, or more often than not, their beers tend to be a little bit flat and whatnot. This actually has a nice kind of carbonation, or at least a nice hiss going on with it. But outside of that, it looks like a rich, deep, dark barley wine. A little bit of malted malt ball colored head that dissipated really, really quickly, but it's definitely there. Give it a whirl. I'm probably going to get a little bit back as I spill everything everywhere. No paper towels. I'll take the old... This is not even a mystery beer. This is my color balancing beer. When you set up a camera and you want actually the color to be right, you want to have a white point, and they use that. It was my white point. Anyway, yeah, it looks the part of a nice little beer. Let's get a nose on this sucker. It smells so good. Like, so good. So good. Like, this is just smells so good. Oh, man, you know, I'll be the first to admit, I think vanilla is overrated. You know, I think a lot of people put vanilla in a ton of things. And I think they go way too heavy-handed. Not even outside of beer. You know what I mean? Even food-wise, pastry-wise, the whole nine. And in beer specifically, a lot of people smell it, gobs of vanilla, and they go, wow, that's really good. I'm not that guy. Because I think vanilla is a little bit of a cheat. I think it's just kind of like, it's vanilla, whatever. There's vanilla in this, but there's all that rich, dense, sugar daddy, sweet, delectable awesomeness with a nice hefty dollop of vanilla. And I think it just accentuates all that. It just takes something that's absolutely fantastic and just elevates it to something a little bit bigger and a little bit more bold. I mean, I'm getting coffee off the sucker. I'm getting like a cognac kind of vibe off the sucker. I'm getting like this rich caramel, sugar daddy vibe off this sucker. It's giving me all the levels of what I come to love and enjoy and look for in barrel-aged barley wine, coconut, the whole nine. We could sit here and talk about different kind of aromatics out the wazoo. They're there. They're there in spades. They're there heftily. They're there meaningfully with a hefty dollop of vanilla. That makes it kind of the MSG. It's just kind of cranking everything up to a next kind of level here. That smells so good. Good God, that smells good. Man, rich spirit barrel, coconut vanilla out of this century, sugar daddy vibes. We're diving in. Cheers. It's okay. It's not like mind-blowing insane, but I'm kind of curious about it. This is delicious. This is dessert beer in a more kind of traditional sense, especially with the vanilla on top of all that kind of barrel and spirit characteristic. The big twist here is it thin. It's a bit thin, and I was kind of surprised at that. With the way the kind of hiss came off, and it had a decent kind of head on it for Kuhnhenn beer. It comes off a bit thin. Comes off a bit tart. Comes off, it's kind of eking towards a little bit of sour. I think that is actually what's keeping this beer being a little bit thinner than normal. That little kind of soft, kind of tart sour. I don't want to call it infected, but it's leaning into a sour kind of component. And tartness. And once you start to have that kind of lactic kind of take over in the beer and kind of knock down a mouthfeel and make it thinner, I think that's what you have going on in here. But it's not criminal. It's not kind of making the beer bad. Actually dig that kind of back and forth between that little bit of acidic, tart, kind of lactic thing, and then this nice kind of sweet vanilla, along with the spirit, along with those rich kind of desserty caramel kind of flavors, those sugar daddy flavors. And it's a nice interplay back and forth. But if this didn't have that tartness, it was just a rich, big, bold sugar daddy of a old ale / barley wine, I think I'd like it a little bit more. So it's almost walking myself back from my expectations of next level bonkersness, for the lack of a better term. And just ends up being a really tasty, really fun beer. Listen, whether it be Kuhnhenn or Hair to Dog or those kind of breweries, your old guard barley wines, stalwarts of barley wines is basically what I'm talking about here. You get undercard beer. You get these beers that slightly lean a little bit in the tartness. I'm never going to get angry at that. You have to take that ebb for the flow. You have to take that little bit of, okay, might not be my favorite version, might not be exactly what I want this beer to do, but I'm okay with that because it's still damn tasty, and when they hit, they effing hit. So I have no qualms with those little kind of dips and valleys on some of these kind of bigger, boisterous kind of barley wine / old ale producers. And this is really tasty stuff. Is it my favorite 4D I've ever had? No. Is it one of the better Kuhnhenn beers I've had as late? Let's just jump in the chase there. Actually, rewind. What am I getting here? Let's talk about the beer before I actually talk about just what I think about the beer. Fruit abounds in here. Red fruit abounds. Both from tart and sweet. Almost gets like Venice when it gets to the tart portion of the show, like Merlot-like, without that tannic portion of the show. The mouth feels a bit thin. You're definitely getting like caramel, sugar daddy, brandy, cognac notes off of this. Then you have that almost like port, tart kind of, it's not vinegar, but kind of like a, just that little bit of tartness I was talking about, a little bit of lactic kind of thing going on. And just this nice wash of caramel, nice wash of that coconut, and more specifically that vanilla kind of coming through. And it finishes sweet and it lingers. You got this stickiness on your lips, but it's the way it's supposed to be. It's not like it just leaves a little heavy finish or something like that. It's exactly how the beer is supposed to finish. Is this one of the better old ale / barley wines I've had? Is like, yeah. Is it more status? No. But it's more towards the top than it is in the bottom. Is it one of the better Kuhnhenn beers I've had as of late? Yeah. Again, not Mount Rushmore status, but really, really damn tasty. I could see somebody really, really, really enjoying this. And this is maybe a personal flaw of mine, I can see the epic greatness of where this beer could have led to. And when, just this rich, sugar daddy, cognac-y vanilla bomb. And that tartness, while fun and interesting, just detracts slightly from the beer and just keeps it from being like all-time status for me. That's my stance. Yours might be different, but it's a damn tasty beer nonetheless. Value and availability on this thing. Michigan peeps, let me know what's what. Rick, anybody else out there? I'm assuming this is like close to $10 a bottle, brewery only, and leave you with, if you like what, will you like this? If you like Kuhnhenn beers, if you like old beers, if you like old ale, if you like barley wine, if you like aged beers, you like Kuhnhenn, man. This is fantastic beer. I am going to enjoy the crap out of this watching Sunday Night Football. And I am infinitely appreciative I got to try it. Thank you very much, Rick, for sending this off. I'm going to post this tonight, actually. So it's 8 o'clock right now. So it should go up about 9 p.m. I'm a fan. I like this. Even though it's not like my favorite of all time, I really dig it. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Let me know if you've had this too, obviously. Beer Massive, podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little long stem tulip right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.